The next question is from Shivendra Singh, Punjab Times.
Yes, hi. Although you've announced 18 billion in funding for higher education institutions to support both universities and higher education providers, it doesn't seem like it's enough to offset the 40 billion brought in by international students each year. So when do you foresee the return of international students to Australia, perhaps through quarantine arrangements?
Well, that's something we're working on right now. There are two pilots that the state governments and territory governments are running in the Northern Territory and South Australia now. I think that will give us a good guide as to what can be achieved between now and the start of next year's university year. And I think there are a lot of practical options that can be put in place between now and then that would hopefully see us take the opportunities that we can. We'll be careful about it. We obviously want to see that element of our economy return to growth. And I think much of that is possible. Universities have taken decisions about international students now for some time, and there's always been business risk attached to that. And the government doesn't self-insure the university sector for the business decisions that they make. But what we have done in this budget, for example, is to ensure that where that revenue may have supported research activities, we put an extra $1 billion into research in universities in this budget to ensure that core research and other important research continues. There's almost $450 million we've put into the CSIRO as well to mitigate the impact of corporate revenues that go into the CSIRO to ensure that that research capacity continues. This is necessary because it feeds into things like our advanced manufacturing and modern manufacturing initiatives. And we want to see that graduate intake and the undergraduate intake, which can feed these dynamic sectors of our economy, continue into the future. Now, that will be from Australians who are born resident here, but it'll also come from those who have studied in Australia and with the additional work rights that apply after the completion of their degrees. That will continue to be an important part of how our economy works and we access the skills that we need. So it will take some time, I think, to get back to some form of COVID normal with international students, and we're not going to put the recovery at risk by acting with undue haste in those areas and not protecting against the potential health impacts that could come. We would have to make sure that those arrangements are effective. But there's no lack of willingness on the government's part to see that occurs. That also has to be balanced up with the fact that we need to get existing Australian residents into jobs, and that means that when students come, they obviously have work rights that are attached to while they're studying, and that needs to be weighed up with the high levels of unemployment that we're seeing at the moment, and we need to see those Australian residents getting back into jobs as well. But I'm optimistic, but cautious.